first thing they ask you, is it notarized? Well, no, well, no, we can't use it.
We'll see if, you know, H&M may require that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they do, I think they got a notary.
Okay.
I'm gonna take, if they have somebody in their shop that can do,
Right.
a form,
Right.
they probably have access
They
to
do.
somebody legal, they probably have somebody on their staff.
Right,
that can
yeah,
do
they
it.
should.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still can go online and see if you can find a form.
Okay. Okay. I'll do that, yeah. If I find it, I'll email it to you. I can't print it out, but you can.
Okay.
Okay, going on.
Ron, have you seen the guy next door to you since the,
No, let's see, every now and then I'll hear something, I think maybe it's a car coming up, but I haven't seen him. I guess his name is Nate Scott, but, that's because the mail came, it was junk mail, you know, like Spectrum or some of these other places where they're trying to get your business. And both of them came to my house. And I was getting ready to throw one of them away, and I saw this man's name on it. And I forgot his, I think it did say 1323 North 12th. And then I didn't see him for a while, but one day I saw him with a very big jug, like maybe paint or something, like one of those very big things. And he was hurrying to get in the house, but, I don't know, Miss Coleman and I were sitting right across from her house, and he came out and got in the car and went on down Everett toward 13th. But we don't, to have the name Nate Scott, to me, he looks more Hispanic than just a plain, plain Caucasian or whatever, but I don't know any more about him. It would be nice to have a neighbor. It's been so many years.
there's no other business?
That's it?
Unless you just wanna sit and talk.
Well, do you have any plans for what we're gonna do for, in the new year to better the group? We're out of suggestions on how to get new members in, because most of the people that are moving in are Mexicans. And they're not gonna come in, period, so you just might as well forget that idea.
And it's not just our area, that's all over the city.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's true.
They don't participate
Yeah.
nowhere.
Unless you're giving something away, and if you're giving something away, they're there. But otherwise, you know, so, I don't know. You're gonna have a speaker every other month, or,
Well, I've got the lady live next door to me. The lady lives on a corner house where France used to live. It's two people live there. I was thinking maybe we can just do let us not talk with them because they work, so they can't come to a 4 o'clock meeting.
right,
And just approach them and do a forum to see what would you like to see in the neighborhood. I've talked to both of them about the neighborhood group, and people just don't like to go to meetings. And people say, we don't like to get involved.
right.
You're dealing with people that age group. You're dealing with a whole different animal
That's right,
altogether.
that's right.
And that's not a criticism, Don. It's not a criticism. It's just they're different. But maybe we can get some suggestions from them.
Right.
Who would you like to see to improve your neighborhood? Maybe they can participate but not come into the meetings. And then, look, I can do that.
Okay.
I'll just do a form and go by and talk to them and leave it with them. They may or may not complete it.
Yeah.
And they may not have even thought about participating. They're both nice people, they're all both nice people.
Is everybody on Oakland from 11 to 12? All those old ones gone now?
Oh, I was out at the, excuse me.
Get you some water.
The wrong way.
Get you some water.
I was out, to the place across from Providence Hospital. I guess they don't call it Providence Place, but maybe they do. But, I was going in to visit my brother-in-law, and the lady, she asked, she said, I know you, and I said, told her, she said, oh, and she's Mr. Taylor's daughter,
Okay.
who lives in the house.
Mhm.
So that's another one that I can approach.
Right.
And I told her about the meeting, she didn't comment, but that's another one that we could approach.
And you said Mr. Taylor's.
Mr. Taylor's daughter. But you know, Marlene died.
Red Taylor,
Red Taylor's daughter.
William Taylor,
She probably don't remember.
you may not know him. He was,
She was something else.
She was
Let's
a
put it like
character.
that.
that's my buddy though, that's
I
my
know
buddy.
you're right.
That's my buddy.
I know you're right. Make 10 steps
Yeah.
forward, 20 back.
He worked for the city, on the city council.
Yeah.
And the city employees not supposed to come forward. He would go up there and say whatever he had to say.
That's right.
All about it. And y'all better not bother me. He said, if y'all bother me, run here's the test order to get you. He was an H3 Baptist.
Yes, he was.
Whoa,
Yes, he was.
whoa. He turned it upside down.
The Lord, if the Lord can change him, he can change anybody.
Oh, he could tell a story.
Oh, yeah. He had one to tell.
He had one to tell.
Yes, he did.
So he would come home drunk, get paid, out of packing, I spent his money, and lay out in the front yard. His wife would drag him in the house,
Yeah.
and she stayed with him all the
She
meetings.
sure did. And then when she got sick, he took care of her.
He took care of him. He had a story to tell.
Yes,
We got him on tape.
I
It's
know
not
it.
very good, but
Yeah.
the video was kind of messed up, but yeah.
Yeah, we did the audio on it,
Yeah.
the video was bad. Yeah, it's on the website.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the good ones is gone on in. Mr. Morrow, Mr. Armstrong, well, Miss Armstrong with us.
You got Mr. Morrow on tape. too.
Yeah, yeah.
Put y'all on tape, too.
You can get Miss Armstrong before she paid. I mean, Miss Armstrong. What's her name? Leon's mother. Used to work at Taylor's. Birmingham. You have to get her on tape before she paid. Miss Birmingham. Short, lived right next door to the Armstrongs. Directly in front of where we live.
Birmingham?
Yeah. it's Miss
Birmingham lived on Oakland.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking Oakland. Morrow lived on Oakland. We lived on Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor lived on Oakland. All of us lived on Oakland.
Well, I'll approach those three before the next meeting. Put it in the minutes, so y'all can jump on here.
So you won't forget it.
Yeah, that just reminded me, district attorney's guy, Mr. Carter, called, and they want to come back and speak to us.
Mr.
District
who?
attorney does,
DA?
yeah.
On what?
Just give us an update on everything. I saw him, he did a newscast recently. Did any of y'all see that? What was he talking about? setting up a program for people that have been incarcerated.
They need to.
He spoke up for this one guy, they didn't want to give him, he was innocent. They let him out, they don't want to give him benefits or nothing.
Oh, the guy that's been in for 23 years.
They had that in the call.
Yeah, this is all be shame, they
I
said.
think the Attorney General said he didn't want to give him nothing.
Well, there's a whole lot of people after him. A whole lot of people after him. So, he's got some major problem. Not, I mean, he's a good person, don't get me wrong. He's done his job and probably done it too well.
What do we hear from Malvina?
She's back in Topeka.
Or is she?
Yeah, yeah. They're back at work now. In the state legislature.
Did she get back on the school board?
Just barely.
I know they were after her.
Big time. Anytime you do your job well,
They're gonna be after you.
and I probably should have said it this way, we allow
Yeah.
them, and that's why people don't want to like it wrong. You get out there and do what you're supposed to do. And people, they're sitting up there ain't doing nothing. People can't do anything unless you got support from people out here.
Right.
That's what makes you.
Right.
And Valdine has done her job at Topeka. She's done her job. And we don't support her. She's done her job on the school board. I mean, really done her job on the school board. And we never called and said thank you or go to a meeting. And they beat them up, and that's why they beat them up, because by our actions, they know we don't
Right.
care.
Right, right.
And,
But let something go wrong, we the first one there.
yeah, I know, talked to,
No, I was waving at,
I was talking to, you know, like on the state level, the people at the state, and David Haley, for example, does a lot of work in the city that he should not be doing. That should be our commissioners. But David, here again, because he has name recognition, people call him,
Right.
and he does the best he can. But people criticize him more than anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
And he does an excellent job in Topeka, and so does Valdine. I was talking to Senator Haley last week, and he called, he had to, he was ticked off. He said, you know, he lost by 32 votes,
I wondered if he made it.
32 votes. A guy called him and said, I got a problem with the BPU, and I can't get any help from Mr. Milan, so I'm calling to see if you can help me. He said, did you vote last election? He said, vote? They have election?
Exactly, so, I got something bad.
And David said, now, he from a household had 5 people in it that could vote. He said, see, if you had voted, I could have got back. He didn't even know it was an election.
Oh, my gosh.
And,
Sure, the people don't
see,
care.
that sounds strange to us,
Yeah,
but that's more common
oh, yeah,
than people out there than people who know.
yeah. Well, that shows you they don't care. Unless it comes to their household. Then when it comes to their door,
Well,
you
yeah,
know. People are like that anymore. As long as it don't come to Chester Owen's house, he's all right. But as soon as it comes to Chester Owen's house, he wants to go to town, well, can't y'all do this, or can't y'all do that? But did you vote?
you know,
If you didn't vote, you don't have no right to complain.
and see, there's some people, who don't want to vote in anything but the presidential
Right,
election.
right.
And young people and older, they say, well, I don't know anything about the local people. But I tell them, those those are the ones that you read.
That's affect your, you know, and I hate to even use the name of Trump. People have the Trump, I said, I ain't worried about Trump.
I ain't
I said, I'm worried about Alvy and Johnson,
Right,
and them the
right.
one that affect my life every day.
That's right.
If I got a problem with trash, I can't call Trump, I can call
You can't do
Johnson.
nothing about it.
Can't do nothing
That's
about
right.
it. And I mean, well, but see, when I went on, I just from the civil rights movement, and I'm not gonna say I ain't help because the people bagged me. The people help, I mean, people show up in big time. I tell you, one thing that, one night that scared them early on, y'all all know the Earl Sims passed, Mr. Earl Sims. Earl was trying to get that land down the way as his church, it was urban renewal land. All that long way got the apartments.
Right.
So he said, what do you think, Chester? I said, Irv, here's what you do. You bring your church, the church wasn't big like this now.
Right.
He had about 100 members. I said, bring all your church members and have them there at the meeting. And we'll bring it up. I talked to a couple of people. When they walked in, Irv had everybody from his church there. They all were dressed up, had suits and ties on. And Elvis said, who's that? I said, I don't know. I don't know where the folks. They were sitting out there. And they put on the agenda. Earl came up and made the picture. Chester, you know them. I said, yeah, I know them. They heard of and voted. But it was people.
Right.
They showed. And that was so cool. And that's how you got that land down there. 'Cause they did not, and the person who was trying to block it 500 miles an hour was Levert.
But people cared then, Mr. Owens.
Well-
People don't care now.
Well, I'm not gonna say that